Hello everyone, good morning. Can anyone confirm audible or not? Can anyone confirm audible or not? Yeah, perfect. So let's start. Answer these questions. I have a function f1. Okay, I have a function f1. If I write like this, if I write like this, if I execute this one, will it give any error? If I execute this statement, will it give any error? No error, right? No error. Why? Because first, it is check for the syntactical errors. Syntactical, it's 100% valid, right? Function keyword, function name, arguments list, and my function body, which contains some statements. When these statements will execute, line number 4, when it is going to execute? Line number 4, when it is going to execute? Whenever you call the function or not. Okay. Now, if I call like this, what is my output? If I call like this, what is my output? If I call like this, what's my output? If I call like this, what's my output? Hmm? A is not defined, A is not defined, undefined, A is not a function. Okay. Okay. See this. If I call a function like this, okay, so this body will execute. Before that, F1 take how many arguments? One argument. But you passed how many? You passed how many? You passed how many? Zero. Okay, if you not pass anything for my A value, what is my default value for the A? It's also variable only. Don't think more. Okay, it is A also one variable. If you not pass any data for the variable, what is my default value? Undefined. So my A value undefined. But line number 4, A, you are expecting like what? Expected value is what? Expected value is what? Line number 4, function. Yeah, function. Received what? Received what? Undefined. So I am expecting a function received undefined. Okay, can you tell me undefined is a function? Huh? To execute this line without any errors, is my undefined is a function? No, right? Undefined is not a function or not. Undefined is nothing but A. A is not a function or not. This is the error, you can get it right. Yes or no? Not A is not defined. Somebody told like A calling. What is the output? Means A calling output. Huh? Go to console. Now say this. This is my function. Function f1. It's take like a calling. Okay. Now if I call my f1, what is my a value? If I call my f1, what is my a value? What is my a value? Undefined. Is my undefined is a function? No. So that it gives me error like what? A is not a function or not. Now, if I pass like this, what's my output? If I pass like this, what's my output? Hmm? What is my output? Yeah, same. A is not a function or not. See, A value 10. A value 10. But line number 4, my A should be what? Expected value is what? Expected value is what? Function. Received what? Number. Is my number is a function? Is my number is a function? No, right? A is not a function. If I pass like this, if I pass like this, expected value a function, but received what? String. So that A is not a function. If I pass like this, 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 what is my A value? If I pass like this, what is my A value? If I pass like this, what is my A value? Come on, come on. If I pass like this, what is my A value? What is my A value? It's an array. It's an array. Expected what? Expected what? Function. Okay, is my array a function? No, A is not a function. If I pass like this, what is my A value? What is my A value? Terminology, just remember, object, object, received object, expected function. Again, A is not a function. Okay, now, what is this? What is this? Boolean. Expected function, received Boolean. A is not a function or not. Okay, see? Okay, every time you're getting the same, okay, same error message, right? A is not a function. But I need something like, okay, not an error, some message I want. Okay, some success response, success message I want. So, how many functions you can write in your program? How many variables you can create in your program? Any number, right? Any number of variables you can create, any number of functions you can create based on your requirement or not. Agreed? Huh? So can I create one more function? Any problem with you? Okay, okay. Any problem to you? Any problem to you? If I write like this, any problem to you? Any problem to you? Syntactically, if it is a valid, then that is no problem for me. You can create any number of functions. Okay, now my F1 type is what? If I write like this, if I click on enter, what is the output? A equals to 10. Okay, if I write A and if I click on enter, what is my output? A holds which value, that output only can see here, right? Same like that. If I put like F1, okay, if I click on enter, what is my output? F1 holds which one, which value? F1 is pointing to which value? It's a function. So my output is like this, right? My output is like this or not? Okay, with something like this. Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, so my F1 type is what? It's a function, right? Okay, now if you come here, my F1 type is what? A function or not? Like this, you can see the output or not? Like that, you can see the output or not? My F1 type is a function. My F2 type is a function. So if I write like this, if I write like this, what is my A value? While calling my F1, I pass a X value. Okay. What is my A value here? A value here. F1 of X means, what's my X value? 10. So it is equals to F1 of 10 or not? Okay. So this 10 holded by A. So my A value is like what? 10. It gives me an error. Same like that. Can I pass like this one more value? One more value? Yes or no? You can pass it. So my F1 you are calling. Now this data, this particular parameter go to this A argument or not. So my A value is what now? My A value is what now? My A value is what now? At this moment, my A value is what now? My A value is a F2 function or not? A is a F2 or not? In the past, my A is like a 10. Okay, now my A is a F2 function or not? Yes, sir? My A is a F2 function. Now, in the body, if you observe, okay, you are doing what here? Line number 4. Line number 4, what you are doing? You are calling A. You are calling A. Internally, my A is pointing to which function? My A is what now? As I said, what is my A? My A is F2. So this one is equals to F2 call or not. A is replaced with what? F2. So F2 you are calling. Yes, I can call a function. My F2 is a function. I can call it. So my line number 8, this body is going to execute without any errors or not. So my output is what? F2 called is my output or not. So here my expected value is what? Function. My received value also what? F2. My F2 type is what? Function only or not. I expected a function, received also function. So you are calling that function. You are calling A is nothing but you are calling that function. You are calling that function means that function body will execute or not. So my final output is what? My final output is what? My final output is what? You are calling F2. Okay, so that F2 body will execute or not without any error. All are okay. Listen carefully, very, very important. All are agreed with me? Okay, then. Now, if you observe, okay, this particular line number 14, okay, now two functions are there. Okay, which function? F1 function is there and F2 function is there. So, my F1 take one function as an argument or not? Can I say like that? My F1 take one function as an argument or not? If any function take one more function as an argument, that functions we can say like what? That functions we can say like what? Higher order functions. Any function which take one more function as an argument, that type of functions what we can say? Higher order functions. What we can say? Higher order functions. What is this F2? What is this F2? The function which you pass as an argument to another function. See this, reverse. F1 take one function as an argument. Now my F2, we pass it as an argument to another function or not. The function which you pass as an argument to another function, that functions we can say like what, callback functions. That functions what we can say? That functions what we can say? That functions we can say like callbacks. All are agreed? The function which take function as an argument, that one we can say like a higher order. The function which you pass as an argument to another function, that functions we can say like what? Callbacks or not. All are agreed with me? So for good. So for good. What is higher order and what is callback? Okay then. Can anyone answer this question? I have a function f1 a comma b a comma b where c equals to 30, c equals to 30. Okay, a and b and console.log of c. Okay, now my question is while calling f1. Okay, while calling f1, my output should be okay 10, 20, 30. Okay, 10, 20, 30. Can you write a code snippet? Can you write a code snippet to get the output is like 30 here? Can you write a code snippet? Okay, while calling my f1, my output should be this. Okay, output should be this. Okay, can you write a code snippet here to get this output? Anyone? Can you write a code snippet here? Okay, don't worry. First, let me ask some question. F1 take how many arguments? F1 take how many arguments? 2 arguments. Perfect. 2 arguments. Okay. What is the type of those 2 arguments? In JavaScript, no type. Agreed. But what is the type of those 2 arguments? Based on the usage, tell me. Okay. See this. A. You are using like this. What it means? With the parenthesis. With the parenthesis you are using. Means what? Think and tell. Think and tell. A, you are using like this. Then what is the type by seeing this one? It's a function type or not. B, you are using like this. What is the type? What is the type? Function type or not. So my F1 take two arguments. Those two arguments are like functions or not. So expected arguments are like functions or not. Agreed with me? Expected arguments are like functions or not. Expected arguments are like functions or not. So if I call like this, what is my A value? If I call like this, what is my A value? Undefined. What is my B value? Undefined. So my A value undefined, received undefined, expected function. So what is the error? A is not a function. A is not a function. So I should have to pass the first and second arguments are like a functions only. So can I create one more function like this? Any problem to you? Any problem to you? Can I create one more function like this? Any number of functions you can create, right? No problem for us. Now, if I call my F1, can I pass like F2 and F3 like this? F2 and F3 like this? Okay, now tell me, you are calling F1. Now my A is what? My A is what? F2. And my B is what? F3. So, A is F2. So, it is equals to my F2 or not. Just replace A with F2. Replace B with what? B with what? B with what? F3. So, you are calling A means indirectly you are calling F2. So, my F2 is a function so that I can call it or not. You are calling B is nothing but indirectly you are calling F3. So my F3 is a function. So it is allow you to call or not. If I call my F2 as per my requirement, I need one console message 10. As per my requirement, I need one more console message 20. Okay. Once it is done, these two 10, 20 printed, and finally console.log of C value already what? 30. So my 30 got printed or not. Yes or no? Come on. Now come here. I put it. My output is like what? My output is like what? Okay, see this here. You are calling multiple times, right? Just you can remove all these things. This is my F2. This is my F3. For our understanding purpose, just I written. Okay, this is my A call and this is my B call or not. Now can I click on enter? My output is what? 10, 20, 30. My output is like what? 10, 20, 30. All are okay? So can you tell me which are like higher order, which functions are like callbacks? Three functions are there now in this code snippet. In this code snippet, we have three functions. Which one is like higher order? Which one is like a callback? The function which take function as an argument, one or more, it's not a matter. The function which take function as an argument, that one we can say like what? Higher order or not. So my F1 is a higher order. Okay, which functions you pass as an argument to another function? Okay, those functions what we can say? Those functions what we can say? We can say like a callbacks or not. Callbacks or not. Okay, now you got some idea, right? What is callback and what is higher order? Okay, in our words, okay, in React, okay, it's very, very important callbacks. Not only React, in JavaScript, callbacks very, very important. Okay, in our words, I'm telling like this. Okay, simply can remember. I want to give one function to some other person. That person is going to call back with another reference or not. See this. My statement is like, I want to give one function to some other person. Here, if you observe, F1, F2, F3 like persons. Just consider like this. F1, F2, F3. I given one function to some other person F1. Okay, I given one function to some other person F1. What that person do here? He called back with another reference or not? He called back that function. Okay, A is like F2. He called back that function with another reference. Directly, did you call anywhere F2? Did you find anywhere F2 call like this? Did you find anywhere F2 like this? F2 like this. Did you find anywhere? Are you calling directly or indirectly? You are not calling directly or not. I given this function to some other person. That person call back with the another reference or not? The another reference or not? All are okay. All are okay. Hmm? Oh, okay then. Now answer this, okay? If I do the code change here, okay, to get the output is like a 10, 20, 30. Okay, in which place I did the code change here? Okay, where it is reflect? Okay, where the code change is required in this? I did the code change here, where it is affected. To get the output is like 10, 20, 30. Where it is affected, line number tell me. Will it give the output is like 30, 10, 20, 30? Will it give? No, right? Okay, it is affected on this or not. I did a code change here, right? Okay, now see the reverse. My A value is what? F2. A value is like what? F2. You are calling A. You are calling A. Okay, so you are calling A with how many parameters? Tell me. You are calling A with how many parameters? 0. But you are calling A means you are calling F2. It is expecting how many parameters? One parameter, right? That's the reason what you have to do. While calling A means indirectly calling F2, it is expecting one parameter. Can you pass that parameter? Your expected value is like what to 10. Same like this. Can I put like a 20 here? Okay. Don't think like A and B are like a callbacks. Okay. A and B are not a functions. Not a functions. Why? I can say not a functions. A and B are a variables. It can hold any data, right? See, if I call like F1 10 comma 20, A value 10, B value 20. It's a variable. It holds some data. That's it. It's a references. You can say. You can say these are not a callback functions. Okay, which one are like a callback functions? Okay, which one you pass, which functions you pass as an arguments, those we can say like a callbacks. F2, F3 you can say callback, not AB. AB or like a variables, it can hold any kind of data. Got my point, everyone? Got my point, everyone? Okay, now you got some idea what is higher order and what is callback. Hmm? Oh, okay, then perfect. Is my voice is breaking? Is my voice is breaking? No, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, then the next one. Answer this question. Observe this sum. This sum contains okay 5k lines of code. After that, okay, just I written like some more. Okay, finally, this 5003 lines of code gives me this result. 5003 lines of code gives me this result. If I call my sum, how many lines of code will execute? How many lines of code will execute? How many? If I call my sum, okay, inside the function, how many lines of code is there? That many lines of code, right? Okay, total 5004 lines of code will execute or not? If I call my sum, yes or no? Yes or no? Now, in my program is a JavaScript program. I need the result. What is the result of this sum call? What is the result? Tell me. What is the result? Final result is what? After executing 5003 lines of code, the final result is like 30 or not. Okay, in my 1.js program, okay, I have some piece of code. I required this result 10 places. I required 30 in 10 places. What you have to do? What you have to do? My result is here. I required in my 1.js. What you have to do? You have to call it or not. So sum. Okay, after some time, I need again the same sum. Okay, after some time, like this, how many times you needed? Okay, how many places you needed this result? How many places? 10 places required. So how many times you need to call the method? How many times you need to call the method? 10 times. 10 times you are calling the method means one time if you call 5004 lines of code executed 10 times means how many times, how many lines of code will execute? 50,040 lines of code will execute or not? Agreed? In my 1.js, okay, 50,040 lines of code which is related to sum executed or not? Okay, 5 lines of code to execution. Okay, 5 seconds it is taken. 50 lines, 50,040 lines of code. How much time it is take? 50,040. Okay, into okay, 5 lines of code, 5 seconds. Okay, 50,040 means 50,040 seconds. Time will take it or not to execute? Yes or no? Yes or no? Okay, it may impact on your performance, right? On your performance, right? Is there any other way to handle? See, I am looking for the same result multiple places or not. In this case, I am looking for the same result in multiple places or not. Yes or no? Okay. For a better performance, what code change you want me to do? I don't want to execute these many lines of code. Okay, 50,000 lines of code I don't want to execute. Okay, you written only one time. It's okay, fine. That is good. But execution, it's take more time, right? Then how? Very simple. You printed this sum, right? Okay, instead of printing, can you give the result back? Can you give the result back? Don't print it. Give me the result. I want to do what I want. Okay, how one function gives some result back means we have one keyword is there. Return is the keyword. Just you can put it. Got my point? Now, my sum function contains 5004 lines of code, 5003 lines of code result you returned, not printed. Yes or no? You returned or not? Got my point? Got my point? Okay, then. Now, yes, this is my function. Whatever you return, okay, when you can get the services from the function while calling. So here is the execution part, sum you are calling. Now tell me my sum method executed how many lines of code? Come on, if I call 5004 lines of code executed and it returns me some result, right? Yes or no? My sum method gives me some result. If my sum method while calling, if we give some result, how we can hold the result? Result is nothing but data. How we can hold the data? In any programming language, how we can hold the data? By using one variable, right? So can I hold the data with some variable like this? With some variable like this? My sum method I called 5004 lines of code executed. It returns me some value. It gives me some value. That value I hold it with one variable like what? Result. What is my result now? Whatever it returns, that is only hold with result or not. So what is my result? 30. So as per my requirement, I want to print the result. That is my requirement, right? Now in my second place, 30 required. Then that time you want me to call a already my result is there. You want me to print it directly. Yeah. Which one is recommended one? Already my result is there. Can you print directly like this? Now tell me how many lines of code will execute in this case. In this case, how many lines of code? 5004 lines of code executed first time. First time. After that, 5000 10 more lines of code for result is required. So 5004 plus 10, 5014 lines of code is enough or not? Execution wise. Yes or no? Where is 50K? Where is 5K? There is a huge difference, right? Performance wise, which one you want me to prefer? Which one you want me to prefer? First approach or second approach? With retina, without retina? With written or not. Okay, any function, okay, which is having some result, that result if you want to use in future, simply, okay, just return that value, hold that value with one variable. Got my point? 5,000 lines of code execution take 5,000 seconds. 50k lines of code execution time is like 50,000 seconds. Okay, which one take like less time performance wise? 5k lines take less time or not? Agreed with me, everyone? Okay, so can we execute this? Right. Okay, listen careful and tell me the answer. Function F1. Function F1. Yes. No statements, nothing. Listen carefully. Tell me what is my A value. Tell me what is my A value. What is my A value? My F1 you are calling my F1. Is it returns any value? Is it written any value? My F1 written any value? No. Still you are trying to hold it. Okay, it is not written anything, but my variable trying to hold it. So the value is assigned or not assigned. If written value is there, that is assigned to A. If my written value is not there, not assigned. Nothing is there to assign. So what is my default value for the A? What is my default value? Undefined or not? Undefined or not? If the function not written anything, there is no use of holding the written value or not. Okay, that is like what? Okay, useless. Don't hold it. Now the function returns me what? Now the function returns me what? Some value. The function returns me some value. The function returns me some value. Okay, that particular value, okay, now hold with this variable or not? That particular value hold with this particular variable or not? Okay, now what is my A value? Now function returns some value, right? So what is my A value? My A value is like a 10 or not. Now listen carefully. If I remove this call, what is my A value? If I remove this call, what is my A value? What is my A value? A is a F1 function or not? A is a F1 function or not? Got my point? Yes or no? Okay, then listen carefully and answer my question. What is the type of A? Type of A, I'm asking. Type of A. I'm asking type. Type of A. It is a number type or not? There is no type, but it holds what? It holds what? A number data or not? Okay. Now, what is the type of this? It is a string or not? It is a string or not? So, if I write like this, first of all, it is valid syntax or invalid syntax? It is a valid or invalid? Syntax is same wherever you written. Say this: function, function keyword, function representation, and open close body. Function, function keyword, function name, representation, and open and close. So syntactically, both are like what? Both are like what? Valid, right? Okay, so inside the function, you can write one more function, no problem, if it is no syntactical error. Now tell me, why my F1 returns me what? My F1 returns me what? F2. What is my F2? It is a function or not? Now my question is, what is my A type? What is my A type? A type what? Whatever the written value is there, that written value type only. My A is like what? Okay, F2 now. A holds F2. My F2 is which type? It is a function type, right? So my A type is what? It is a function or not? It is a function or not? If A is a function, what you can do with that function? If A is a function, what I can do? A is a function. What I can do? When I can get the services from the function? By calling. Yes, sir. You only told, right? A is a function. Which function? F2 function. If it is like a function, can we call it? You are calling A means indirectly you are calling F2 or not. Okay, so my F2 body will execute or not. All are okay. All are okay. Everyone. Yeah, it's obviously it works. F2 called or not. Okay. Okay then. Return is a keyword which is used to return back the value from my function. Return back the value from my function. Okay, return is a keyword which is used to return the value from the function. Return back the value from the function. Okay, whenever the function returns any value, we can hold that value with one variable like this. We can hold that value with some variable like this. Okay. Okay then. I have a function f1. Okay, what is the name of the function? What is the name of the function? What is the name of the function? F1. If I know the name, how we can call it? If I know the name, how we can call it? How I can call it? With the name only I can call, right? If you want, if I want to call you, I can call with your name. Simply. Yes or no? With the name we can call it. For example, if the function is not having the name, sometimes if the function is not having the name, is it possible to call with the name? If the name is not there, how we can call it? We are not able to call or not. Okay. Functions, sometimes they may not have the names. Then that time, okay, the function which is not having the name, that functions, then that time, that functions we can say like a anonymous functions. That functions we can say like what? Anonymous functions. So can I call the functions directly with the name now? Is it possible to call it directly with the name? With the name, is it possible to call? No, right? No, right? Still, I want to call it. Still, I want to use that functionality. Then how I can? So the function which is not having the name, that type of functions I can say like a anonymous functions. Okay, how I can call anonymous functions? How many ways we can call the anonymous functions? Anonymous functions. How many ways we can call anonymous functions? How many ways? Okay, with the name, possible or not possible? With the name, possible or not possible? Not possible, right? Why? Because name is not there. That's the reason we can say like anonymous. Not possible, right? Then how means? One is like self-invoking. Self-invoking. Okay, self-invoking means not with the name, directly we can call here itself. So how say this? Okay, this is my function, right? This is my function, right? This is my function. So can I call the function here itself? If it is a function, can I call the function here itself? Are you able to see the output? This is the function. This is the function. Yes or no? Can we call the function here itself like this? Like this. That type of calling is what? Self-invoking. Self-invoking. All are okay? So this function I can call, okay, see syntax something different. Okay, this is my function enclosed with codes, and then you can call it. Okay. 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 Then the next, I have a function f1. Okay, this is the one. So tell me, my function f1 take how many arguments? One argument. What is the type of that argument based on the usage? It is a function. So my f1, if I pass like a 10, a is not a function, you can get it. My f1 always expecting what? One function as an argument. So can I pass this function as an argument directly? Any problem? Now my a holds this function. You are calling a means, okay, you are calling this particular anonymous function or not. It is a named or anonymous, it is not a matter. A is a function. It may be named, it may be anonymous. In this case, my a is what? Anonymous function. You are calling a means you are calling this anonymous function. Yes, you are get this output or not. So you can call anonymous function, okay, as a callback or not by using use as a callback to call the function. Yes or no? Pass as a callback, pass as an argument to another function. Then we can say like a callback. So I can say like a as a callback. As a callback, we can call it. All are okay? Yes or no? Now, third one, where a equals to 10. What is my a value? Where x equals to 10. What is my x value? 10, right? Okay. Now you assigned a number. Now instead of number, can I assign one function like this? Any problem? Now what is my x value? X value is what? In the past, it's like a 10. Now it's a anonymous function or not. So my x is a anonymous function. If it is an anonymous function, my x, can I call my x? My x is a function. It may be anonymous or it is a name. It is not a matter. Okay, if it is a function, can we call it? Then the time you can see this one or not. Yes or no? Assign to one variable and call it and call. Okay, this is also one more or not. If it is an anonymous function, you can call as a self-invoking. The next one is like you can call, okay, as a callback. You can pass as a callback. And the next one is like, okay, you can assign this one to some other variable. You can call that variable. This is the one. All are agreed with me? All are agreed with me? All are agreed? Okay. Now we got some idea, right? What is callback? What is anonymous function? What is higher order? How we can pass the data? All these things. Okay, then. Now answer this question. That is my actual function. Don't change that one. Okay, my question is, can you write a code snippet? Can you write a code snippet? Can you write a code snippet to get the output? To get the output. Okay, in the alert boxes like Sachin first and the Dhoni first, Dhoni and then Kohli. And then Kohli. Okay, write a code snippet to get the output in the alert boxes. First Sachin, next Dhoni, next Kohli. Okay, first Sachin, next Dhoni. Okay, next Dhoni I want. Next Kohli I want. Can you write a code snippet? My output should be Sachin, Dhoni, Kohli in the alert boxes. First alert box, Sachin. Close it. Next immediately has to come to Dhoni. Next immediately has to come like Kohli. First. Okay, don't think more. First talk about the F1. F1 take how many arguments? Simple. F1 take how many arguments? F1 take how many arguments? Two arguments. What is the type of those two arguments? Talk about the F1 function. What is the type of those two arguments? Strings are. Strings are. How we can say like strings? Yeah, I'm asking my question. Just listen it. What is the type of my A and B? Based on the usage, which type, that is any type, but which type? Okay, A you are calling, okay, with one argument, one parameter. So A calling, B calling means what? A calling and B calling means what? Those are the functions, right? So my F1 take two arguments. Based on the usage, I can say like those two arguments are like functions or not. Agreed? My F1 returns me what? My F1 returns me what? My F1 returns me what? One more function or not? One more function or not? F1 return. After return statement, whatever we have, that is the return value. Maybe function, maybe something, whatever it is. Got my point? So my F1 take two arguments and it returns, okay, those two arguments are like functions and it returns one more function or not. So can we write it now? Come on. F1 take how many arguments? Two arguments. What is the type? Function types. So which functions? Named or anonymous? Any function, it is not a matter for me. Any functions. All are okay? Agreed with me? Now, my A is pointing to this anonymous function. My B is pointing to this anonymous function. Okay. So my A is this, B is this. Line number 4, if you observe, you are calling A means you are calling this function or not. You are calling A means you are calling this function. Yes or no? Indirectly. You are calling A means you are calling this function. Now tell me, you are calling A with how many arguments? You are calling A with how many arguments? One argument. So that argument you have to hold it or not. So can we hold with one variable? Whatever the variable, your wish. So you are calling A means you are calling this function with one parameter. That one is like Sachin. The Sachin hold with X or not. So that X, as per my requirement, I want to keep inside alert. As per my requirement. Agreed? Yes or no? Now the second parameter is what? Line number 5, B. Okay, B is nothing but indirectly it is pointing to this function. You are calling B is nothing but you are calling this function. Okay, can I keep okay something like this Dhoni directly? He is not passing the value, but my requirement is like Dhoni or not. So can I? Agreed? Yes or no? These two statements completed or not? And returns me what? This function. This function returns me what? This function returns me what? Some value, right? Any function returns any value. Can I hold with one variable? Can I hold with one variable? Now, what is my I value? That is my question. What is my I? I is nothing but while calling my F1, whatever you return, that is only hold with my I or not. So my I is pointing to this function, right? So if my I is pointing to this function, how we can make this alert execution? You have to call my I or not. Agreed? Yes or no? Agreed with me? Or can I execute this? Can I execute this? Yes, first Sachin, next Dhoni, next Kohli. That is only my final output or not? Yes or no? Agree with me? Yeah, I'm back. Uh, is it okay now? Are you able to understand? Hmm? So your assignment is like HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. You can complete first. Monday we are going to take the session like first half an hour, just question and answers. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. Okay, JavaScript variables and methods. Those two topics you can complete. And higher order functions and callback functions. And the next one is like anonymous functions. How to create a variables, how to create a functions with argument, without argument, with return type, without return type. Okay, at the same time, developer console window about. Okay, day 1 to till today, what things we covered. Okay, just prepare these 2 days. Utilize these 2 days. No class tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Next class is on Monday. Okay, again, I'm telling JavaScript is like very, very important. Day to day, you have to practice. Day to day, you have to practice. Daily basis, you have to practice. Got my point? Daily basis, you have to practice. Okay. Okay. If you have any questions while practicing, if you're stuck with something, okay, just you can drop a mail so I can respond if I have time. Higher order components in the React terminology, we'll see later. Okay. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Bye.